You are about to do something important, something that matters, something that could genuinely change things.
And your mind produces a thought.
What if I am not good enough for this?
And you stop. Or you slow down. Or you find a reason to wait a little longer, to prepare a little more, to feel a little more certain before you begin.
Because the doubt felt like information. It felt like your mind assessing the situation honestly and delivering a warning.
But here's what your mind was actually doing. It was pattern matching, finding the most threatening possible interpretation of an uncertain situation, and delivering it with the feeling of certainty.
That feeling, the self-doubt, it was not a reliable assessment of your capability. It was your threat detection system, doing its job, flagging uncertainty as potential danger.
And the threat is not real. The uncertainty is real, but uncertainty is not danger. It is just not yet knowing.
And not yet knowing is the beginning of every important thing you will ever do.
Today, we re-examine self-doubt, what it actually is, why the most capable, most accomplished, most experienced people experience the most of it, and how to stop letting it decide what you attempt.
Stay with us, because what you think self-doubt means and what it actually means, they are completely different things. Hello, everyone. Welcome to Speak Unstoppable, the podcast where we help you speak English naturally and confidently through real, honest conversations.
I'm John.
And I'm Maria. So happy you're here with us today.
B1 to B2 level English. Before we go further, please subscribe to Speak Unstoppable right now. One tap. New episodes every single day. We are here every day for your English and your growth.
Subscribed? Good. Now, let's talk about something that is probably more present in your life than you realize.
How are you feeling today, Maria?
Honestly, clear, which is what this episode produces. Thank you for being here. Let's go. Okay. I want to share a statistic that stops most people.
What statistic?
Studies consistently find that the most competent professionals, the ones with the most experience, the most skill, the highest achievement, they also experience the highest rates of self-doubt.
More skill, more experience, more achievement, more self-doubt.
Not less, more.
This seems completely backwards, and it is exactly backwards from what most people believe.
Most people believe when I am more capable, when I have more experience, when I have achieved more, the self-doubt will reduce. Or disappear entirely.
But the research says the opposite. The more you know, the more clearly you understand how much you do not know. The more you have achieved, the more complex the challenges you face. And complex challenges produce more uncertainty.
And uncertainty, as we will explore today, is the trigger for self-doubt, not incompetence, not genuine inadequacy.
Uncertainty, which is the permanent companion of anyone doing anything genuinely difficult or genuinely meaningful.
Today, we stop waiting for the self-doubt to disappear before we act, and we start acting alongside it.
Let's define self-doubt precisely. Because the popular definition, the feeling that you are not capable enough, it is not accurate, and the inaccuracy costs people.
Self-doubt is uncertainty about whether your current capability is sufficient for a specific upcoming challenge.
Current capability, not your potential, not your long-term development, your capability right now.
Sufficient. Enough for this specific thing. Not enough in general. Enough for this.
An upcoming challenge, something that has not happened yet. Something unknown. Something that, by definition, cannot be fully predicted.
So self-doubt is your mind's honest acknowledgement that there is uncertainty about whether what you currently have is enough for something that has not yet happened.
And that acknowledgement, that honest registration of uncertainty, is not the problem.
The problem is the interpretation. Taking there is uncertainty here and concluding, I am not capable of this.
Those are not the same thing. I am uncertain about the outcome is not the same as I am insufficient for the challenge.
Uncertainty about outcome is rational, appropriate, present in every genuinely difficult situation.
Conclusion of personal inadequacy from uncertainty alone is a leap, a specific cognitive leap that self-doubt encourages, but does not logically require.
And learning to make the distinction in real time, in the moments when self-doubt is loudest, that is the core skill of this episode.
Let's examine why the research finding is true, why the most capable people experience the most self-doubt. Reason 1. The expanding frontier.
The more you know, the larger your awareness of what you do not know becomes. The frontier of your knowledge expands as your knowledge grows.
A beginner in any field, they do not know what they do not know, and this produces a kind of confidence, not genuine confidence, unconscious confidence. The confidence of not being aware of the complexity.
Unconscious incompetence. The stage where you do not know enough to know what you do not know.
And as expertise develops, you move through stages. Conscious incompetence, knowing what you do not know. Conscious competence, knowing that you know but having to think about it. And eventually, unconscious competence, knowing without having to think.
But the expert, at the edge of their expertise, facing the next genuinely difficult challenge, they are in conscious incompetence again. Aware of the complexity. Aware of what they do not yet know.
And this awareness, this honest acknowledgement of complexity, it produces self-doubt, not because they are inadequate, because they are sophisticated enough to understand the challenge.
Reason 2. The stakes grow with capability.
As you develop, the challenges you face become more significant. The stakes increase. And higher stakes, more naturally, produce more uncertainty.
The beginner's mistakes cost little. The expert's mistakes cost more. And the awareness of this, the rational acknowledgement that the stakes are real, it produces appropriate uncertainty.
Which feels like self-doubt, but is actually mature risk assessment.
Let's talk about a specific experience that is closely related to self-doubt, and that affects approximately 70% of high-achieving people at some point in their lives.
The impostor phenomenon, sometimes called impostor syndrome.
The feeling that you have not genuinely earned your position, that you are somehow fooling the people who believe in your capability. That you will eventually be found out.
And the people who experience this most intensely, according to decades of research, are often the most competent, most accomplished, most genuinely qualified people in their field.
Why? Because the less competent, the Dunning-Kruger effect, they often overestimate their capability. They do not have sufficient knowledge to see the gap between where they are and where genuine expertise lies.
And the more competent, they can see the gap clearly. They understand the complexity. They know exactly where their knowledge ends and uncertainty begins.
And this awareness, which is a product of their competence, feels like evidence of being a fraud, when it is actually evidence of genuine expertise.
The impostor phenomenon is not evidence that you do not belong. It is evidence that you understand the difficulty of what you are doing.
And the specific English version of the imposter phenomenon, I do not really speak English. I just know some phrases. Real English speakers are different from me. It prevents people from claiming the English they have genuinely built.
You have built English. Through study, through listening, through practice, it is genuinely yours. And the self-doubt about whether it is real English, it is not accurate assessment. It is the imposter phenomenon. Applied to language.
Okay, practical. Because the goal is not to eliminate self-doubt. As we have shown, it is present in the most capable people. Eliminating it is not the target.
The target is acting alongside it. Doing the thing despite the doubt. Not because the doubt has been resolved. Because the thing matters more than the doubt.
Method 1. The evidence audit.
When self-doubt arrives, specifically, in the moment, collect evidence. Not for or against the doubt, just evidence about your actual capability in this area.
What have I done before that required similar capability? What have I built that demonstrates relevant skill? What evidence exists of genuine competence in this area?
Not am I the best? Not will this be perfect? Just what evidence exists of genuine capability? And almost always, the evidence is more substantial than the doubt suggested.
Method 2. The doubt as signal.
Reframe the self-doubt as a signal about what matters, not as a warning about capability.
When self-doubt is present about something, it almost always means you care about the outcome. You are invested. You understand the stakes.
And caring, investing, understanding stakes, these are not signs of inadequacy. They are signs of maturity and genuine engagement.
I doubt myself here because this matters to me. The doubt is confirmation that I care, not that I am insufficient.
Method 3. The action despite.
Decide in advance, before the moment of self-doubt, when your thinking is clearer, what you will do when the doubt arrives.
Not if the doubt arrives. I will assess whether it is accurate. But when the doubt arrives, and it will, I have already decided to act. The decision was made before the doubt, and the doubt does not unmake it.
Pre-decision. The decision made before the difficult moment, it is one of the most effective tools for overriding the resistance that self-doubt produces.
Because self-doubt, like all resistance, is most effective in the moment. Before you begin. When the outcome is uncertain and the imagination can fill the uncertainty with its most frightening possibilities.
But a decision already made, before the moment, the doubt arrives to find the decision already taken. And its leverage is dramatically reduced. Let's look directly at the self-doubt patterns in English learning, because they are specific and they are manageable.
Pattern 1. My English is not good enough to.
This pattern attaches self-doubt to a specific English activity. Speaking in a meeting. Writing a professional email. Having a conversation in English.
And the doubt, my English is not good enough, it prevents the attempt, which prevents the experience that would actually build the capability.
The evidence audit for this pattern. Have I communicated in English successfully before? What did that require? Do I have at least that level of capability now?
Almost always, yes. The capability is sufficient for the attempt. The doubt is not accurate assessment. It is uncertainty dressed as assessment.
Pattern 2. They will notice I am not fluent.
Mind reading. Fortune telling. The prediction of judgment from an imagined audience.
The evidence. Most people in most conversations are focused on communication, not on evaluating fluency levels.
And even when fluency level is noticed, the response is almost never judgment. It is accommodation. Slower speaking. Simpler vocabulary. Genuine effort to communicate.
Pattern 3. Real English speakers do not struggle like this.
Impostor phenomenon applied to language. The belief that genuine speakers do not experience difficulty, do not search for words, do not make mistakes.
They do. All of them. In any language spoken at any level, speakers search for words, make mistakes, lose the thread. This is not failure. It is how language works.
The self-doubt that attaches to this, because I struggle, I am not a real English speaker. It is not accurate. Struggle is part of speaking, not evidence against it.
The quality that the most effective English learners have and that the most effective people in any field develop is not the absence of self-doubt.
It is the ability to act despite it.
And this ability, doubt-tolerant action, it is built through one method only. Acting despite the doubt. Repeatedly. Until the experience of acting despite doubt becomes familiar. Becomes the expected response.
Every time you speak English, despite the doubt, you build the evidence that doubt can be survived, that it does not need to be resolved before acting.
And every piece of evidence like this, accumulated across months and years, it builds a different relationship with doubt.
Not doubt means wait, but doubt means this matters, and I act on what matters, even with the doubt present.
This is not fearlessness. It is courage. The specific courage of doing the important thing while feeling uncertain about the outcome.
And it is available to you, in every English moment, in every area of your life, right now. Can I say something about what self-doubt feels like versus what it means?
Please.
Self-doubt feels like a reliable signal, like information that should be trusted, like a warning from a wiser part of yourself about a real limitation.
And sometimes, rarely, it is. Sometimes doubt points to a genuine gap, a specific skill that genuinely needs more development before a specific attempt.
But most of the time, most self-doubt, in most situations, it is uncertainty. Appropriate, rational uncertainty about an unknown outcome, dressed in the language of personal inadequacy.
And the difference between the two, genuine gap versus uncertainty about outcome, it is discernible. With the evidence audit. With honest assessment of your actual capability.
Do I genuinely lack the capability for this? Or am I uncertain about the outcome, which is normal, which is expected, which everyone who attempts difficult things Experiences.
Almost always, the answer is the second. Uncertainty about outcome, not genuine incapacity.
And genuine uncertainty about outcome. In the presence of genuine capability, it is not a reason to wait. It is the expected companion of every meaningful attempt.
And for English, this is one of the most liberating realizations available.
You are not waiting because you lack capability. You are waiting because of uncertainty. And uncertainty, unlike genuine incapacity, does not resolve through more preparation. It resolves through attempting.
Remember this: self-doubt is uncertainty about outcome, not evidence of inadequacy. Act alongside it. Every time.
Self-doubt is uncertainty, not evidence of inadequacy. Act alongside it.
Word tour time.
Word 1. Phenomenon, an observable fact or event, something that occurs and can be experienced or observed. Example 1. The impostor phenomenon, the feeling of not genuinely belonging despite genuine competence, affects approximately 70% of high achievers. Example 2. The English plateau phenomenon, the feeling that progress has stopped when it has actually shifted to consolidation, is experienced by almost every learner at some point.
Word 2. Sophisticated. Having a refined understanding. Able to appreciate complex issues. Showing a high level of development. Example 1. The most sophisticated thinkers experience the most self-doubt because they understand complexity well enough to see how much remains uncertain. Example 2. Sophisticated English use, choosing the right word for the right context, understanding nuance, develops through exposure and practice over time.
Word 3. Leverage. In this context, the power to influence an outcome, the ability to use something to produce an effect. Example 1. Self-doubt has the most leverage before you begin, in the moment of uncertainty. The pre-decision removes much of its leverage. Example 2. Leverage your English practice by attaching it to high-interest topics. You practice more when the content genuinely interests you.
Word 4. Discernible. Able to be recognized or understood. Possible to distinguish or identify. Example 1. The difference between genuine incapacity and uncertainty about outcome is discernible, with honest evidence audit and clear thinking. Example 2. Discernible English progress, the kind you can specifically name and point to, requires regular self-assessment. Compare to your previous self, not to others.
Word 5. Accommodation. The act of adjusting to meet someone's needs. Making things easier or more comfortable for someone. Example 1. The response to imperfect English is almost always accommodation, slower speaking, simpler vocabulary, genuine effort to communicate, not judgment. Example 2. Build accommodation into your English practice. Allow imperfection, adjust the challenge level when needed, and continue rather than stopping when it gets difficult.
Word 6. Courage. The ability to do something difficult despite fear or uncertainty. Acting despite the discomfort. Example 1. Doubt-tolerant action is not fearlessness, it is courage. The specific earned courage of doing the important thing while feeling uncertain. Example 2. English courage, speaking before you are sure you will be perfect, is the single most important quality for rapid language development.
One thing this week. Make one pre-decision. Before the self-doubt moment arrives. Choose one English situation you have been avoiding because of self-doubt. And decide now, before the moment of doubt, that you will do it this week.
Write the decision. Specifically, when, where, what.
And when the doubt arrives, and it will, the decision has already been made. The doubt arrived to find the answer already given.
Here is your sentence template.
I have already decided. I will do my chosen English action on my chosen day at my chosen time. The self-doubt that will arrive is uncertainty, not evidence of inadequacy. And the decision was made before it arrived.
Say it out loud. With your real decision.
I have already decided. I will take my action on my chosen day at my chosen time. The self-doubt is uncertainty, not inadequacy. The decision is already made.
Mean every word. And then keep the decision.
Comment challenge.
What is one thing you have been not doing because of self-doubt that you are now going to attempt this week?
Write using this sentence.
I have been doubting myself about. Write your thing in the comments. But the evidence of my genuine capability is. Write your evidence in the comments. And this week, I am going to take action, despite the doubt.
Write it. In English. In the comments. Right now.
Because the writing is already the first act of courage.
We read every comment. Every single one.
Please give this a like. And share it with someone who needs to hear this today.
New episode every single day on Speak Unstoppable.
Thank you for being here.
Self-doubt is uncertainty.
Not evidence of inadequacy.
Act alongside it.
Every time.
Bye, everyone.
Bye.